Hey guys, this is video 2 of the 12-part series that is meant to teach you, yes you, how to unlock abundance, wealth, and financial security through your personal blueprint, or how normal people call it, your natal chart. And if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I recommend watching part 1 that's linked here or here. I don't remember. Watch part 1 first. Although I guess you could watch this part first, but you will probably lack some key background points that will help you in this video. So I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why, but look, you're a free person. You have free will. Do as you please. I will not judge. And to reiterate what I taught in part 1 of this series, Derivative Astrology shows us that all 12 houses technically play a role in how we accumulate in the material world. Therefore, all 12 houses can be used as the secret key to unlocking financial abundance. And in this video, we will be discussing your natal chart's 3rd house. Yep, we'll put it right here, your 3rd house. Oh, that was 2. 3rd house, and how that plays a role in your ability to accumulate wealth or financial security in this lifetime. And in future videos, I will discuss all the other houses I didn't talk about and what role that plays as well. Sorry, I'm thirsty. Now, I will go over again how to figure out your 3rd house's role in this money chart using a derivative astrology, but if you already have your handy dandy little money chart ready from part 1, or if you already remember how to do this step, feel free to skip this section. Go to this little timestamp right here and everything will be okay. You won't have to deal with the redundancies. But look, if you want to stay here, if you want to watch this part, then join me and let's get started. So as a reminder from part 1, what you first want to do is pull up your personal natal chart. Then what you want to do is make your 2nd house your new 1st house, or your money ascendant, so to speak. And again, like I talked about in part 1, your natal chart's 3rd house becomes your finance chart's 2nd house, your natal chart's 4th house becomes your money chart's 3rd house, and so on and so forth. Label all the houses in such fashion. And just as a reminder, I am using whole signs because I think it is so much easier. I think it is accurate. I'm just gonna go with it. If you don't wanna go with it, that's your choice, but let's just go with it for the sake of this tutorial. And so, when the math is mathing, your natal chart's 3rd house becomes your money chart's 2nd house. And the 2nd house in astrology touches on how you deal with the material plane. If it's tangible, if it's yours, just like my little water bottle here, it is related to the 2nd house. Now, the topics covered in the 2nd house can range from your resources, to your beliefs, to your values, your finances, you name it. While the 3rd house deals with your communications and your immediate environment, whether it's how you learn or you research on a very core level, whether it relates to your skills or how you speak or write or how you communicate. If you plus interaction plus immediate environment, if all of these little variables are involved, it equals 3rd house. So water bottle, 2nd house, drink from the water bottle, 3rd house. This means that your communications, your interactions with your immediate environment, your skills act as the core level material or the resource that can help you attract material wealth. This is because these 3rd house traits become the 2nd house in your money chart. So by learning to best understand your 3rd house, how you communicate to your immediate environment, and understanding how this house operates on a very mechanical level, which I'll help you with in your natal chart, you are learning the materials or the currency or the resource that you need to tap into in order to start attracting and gaining finances or wealth or money into your life. And you can use this thing as your little tool or your secret weapon. Like, this is your weapon, and this is gonna help you tremendously. I promise it helps me too. And by understanding what skills you have to offer in your 3rd house, which everybody has, no matter how tough your 3rd house looks, I guarantee you have skills from your 3rd house. If you understand these, then you can better use these resources to help you find opportunities. And so now let's personalize it a bit. Let's get into how we can understand how the third house plays a role in our own natal charts. Now, I've listed some traits for each zodiac sign right here in the context of your third house. It's a little different from part one. And while this sign alone won't tell you fully the nature of your third house, bringing it back to the painting analogy, there's a siren outside. Similar to the painting analogy that I talked about, it will tell you the base that everything sits on in regards to how you communicate. Why is that siren so loud? Feel free to find your sign and screenshot this graphic if you have to. And note, I would also jot down the sign of your third house ruler as well, as this will add to the traits of your third house as well that we're going to consider a little bit later in the video. Now, if this base doesn't fully resonate, which I get it, mine doesn't always do that too, it's because you need to understand, once again, the splash of colors that define your third house. And to understand the colors being splashed onto your canvas, you want to look at the following points. Boom. Planets within your third house. Let's do it again. Boom. The planetary ruler for your third house and its location. And once again, boom. Any aspects made to any of the involved planets in step 1 and step 2. Planets within your third house will add the below traits and influence to the base canvas of your communication style. Imagine similar to the strokes of paint. So whatever planet is located within your third house or planets, they will add these traits to the canvas of your third house. And note, you can also look for the planet ruling your third house if you have an empty third house. So make a note of that. And if you do have planets in your third house, write down the planets and the planetary ruler. You want to do both because all of these planets will play a role in our little third house stew. Is it a painting or is it stew? It's both, okay? So an example is if you have your Mercury in your third house, your intellectual pursuits, your words, your mind's workings are at the forefront of how you communicate. Or let's say you have Neptune, elusive, dreamy Neptune in your third house. You will have a potentially creative, elusive, and dreamlike quality in terms of how you communicate and interact with your immediate environment. Then you want to look at the ruling planet of your third house because this will add a little bit of finer detail, the ambiance, the flavor, the seasoning to your communication house, to your third house. And in case you forgot from video 1, the ruling planets for each of the third house signs can be seen here. I'll leave that up for a bit and hopefully you've taken notes of the sign and planet ruling your third house from the previous sections. And if you haven't, once again, little timestamps right here that you can refer back to. So let's say you are a Taurus third house. This makes your chart ruler or your third house ruler your Venus. And let's say your Venus is in the sign of Scorpio. Perhaps this adds a probing, a deep, or a passionate flair to how you communicate, how you research, how you interact with your immediate environment, and this can be used to sort of construct your secret weapon. So hold on to this. If you want to make a note of the house your third house ruler is located in, the house itself, which I'll put here, it might tell you an area of life that sort of ties closely to your third house. So maybe these houses kind of intermingle a bit, you know? Don't take that bad. You'll have a note of your third house canvas and it'll look a little something like this. Here's mine for reference. So the sign of my third house is Libra. Do you think I talk like a Libra? Maybe, I don't know. But my sun's in my third house, so that's kind of why I like to talk. And it's ruled by Venus, and the ruler of my third house is in Scorpio, which is in my fourth house, which is, hey, that is why I'm at home right now talking about astrology. It is literally on brand with my canvas. Now, once you have the canvas and all the little flavors figured out, you want to see the aspects that are affecting all of the involved planets. And remember, tense planets involve effort and sometimes struggle relating to that planet, while flowing aspects may indicate traits that come a little bit more naturally. And usually when communication issues arise, or issues sort of really communicating or involving your outside world, it's because of one of three things. Number one, any tense aspects to your third house planets or third house ruler have led to some sort of struggle in your life revolving around communication. And if you haven't learned to master how to handle that tension, that can lead to issues. Number two is that any flowing aspects to your third house planet or your third house ruler becomes so natural and innate to your being that you fail to recognize the flowing issue or the talents that you have with how you communicate with your immediate environment. The house or the sign of your chart ruler's location may have also given you experiences that have impacted your ability to effectively connect with your immediate environment. That's all of the points. And if you aren't sure what a specific aspect actually points to in your chart, I recommend, similar to part one, using a little AI tool. I use Microsoft Copilot because that's what I have on my phone, and using this template. So planet, aspect, planet, natal chart meaning with examples. And so here comes the question. How can I heal this? Number one is to write down real life examples for how placements and aspects may have played out in your real life. And you may have to think about this, but it helps to understand the nature of the planet and the areas of life that these aspects play out in. Number two is that understand that tense aspects or placements don't mean you're doomed. It just requires a proper energy. It just requires a proper channeling of the energy. And note, in a future video, I will go over the concise key to managing tense aspects in your natal chart. And number three, and this is the big one, adopt one new habit within your daily life that celebrates your unique blueprint relating to your third house. So if you have a third house in Sagittarius, you have an Aries Jupiter, do one thing a day to exercise that Aries Jupiter placement. And once again, if you don't know how to do anything, or specifically these things, if you aren't sure how to channel a specific aspect or how to use it, once again, I recommend using an AI generator and typing positive ways to channel a blank, square, or opposition, third house blank aspect to your chart. And be sure to include the house in front of the planet in this little prompt so that the advice can be tailored to your third house. It won't give you general information that doesn't even apply. And remember that you don't need to be perfect with your communication to attract abundance. And if the third house represents the tools you use to attract abundance, the main things that you need to remember are one, a core understanding of how you interact with the world, and two, just a willingness to recognize the skills any third house configuration can offer you. Even with malefics, that sense of duty is a skill that not everybody has. And now hopefully that makes sense. I am so thankful that if you're watching this part that you have been willing to listen to my voice for at least 14 minutes, probably 30 minutes if you watch part one, and honestly that means the world to me. So comment below what your little third house blueprint is, how you think it plays out, and honestly if you have any questions, I'll respond to some of the comments. I probably don't have a lot of viewers at this rate, so I will give you all the tools you need. And if you have any topics that you want me to cover in future videos, also comment that down below as well. Look, I'm taking suggestions. I'm new. I'm still learning my brand, okay? A girl needs a little help and I'll accept it. And in the next part of this series, I will be covering your natal charts. You probably guessed it. Fourth house and the role that plays within derivative astrology, which you can probably start to connect the dots a little bit. But I'm hoping that in that guide, I can help you connect all the pieces that maybe you don't know how to connect. And until next time, I'm thirsty, so. Oh my God. Are you ever like so thirsty that it feels like your whole body's like, whew, there's like a little shiver. It feels so good to drink water when you're thirsty. I'm probably gonna cut that. And until next time, goodbye.